Let me confess to you that I was really, really hoping you didn't go there because I didn't want to answer this question because I know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it because you're my man. Here's the deal. None of those candidates are me. Now, I have no desire. I just told y'all I just signed with SiriusXM. I got ESPN. I make some good money. I'm living a good life.
You got
He's a rich man.
The last time you were here, you didn't have that smile before.
I'm living.
Yes.
Man, I've been
Well
negotiating for a
deserved,
year.
though. Well deserved.
You're living in the best city in the world, Miami.
No,
let's be honest.
You're living in Miami now.
The greatest ever in the game.
Diverting away, I can't thank you enough. We talked about it. He's one of the people that I confided in a lot during my negotiations, just in terms of his business acumen, his temperament, his mentality towards, one step after another. There were very, very few people that I communicated with, and Patrick Bet-David was one of them. I cannot thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. I will tell you, the life that I'm living is good, but when you talk about those candidates, getting back to that discussion, none of them are me. Bernie Sanders, God bless him. I understand who he is, but he's also a socialist, essentially. That'll never work in America. Never. Number one. Number 2, 3, and 4. They can talk all they want to. They don't have my voice. What I mean by that is I'm not talking about you being well known. I'm not talking about you campaigning. I'm talking about what you do every day for a living. See, they gonna come to you when they're campaigning. I'm around, period. This is what I do. So when you talk about a radio, you talk about a voice on radio. Well, I have that. You talk about a voice on television. Well, I have that. You talk about your own podcast. Well, I have that. Where am I going? So anytime you try to attack, you have to think about the rebuttal I'm going to throw in your direction. And I think that I have proven throughout my career I can resemble a tsunami raining down upon your ass anytime I want to. And that's for sports figures. That's for people in social commentary. These are politicians. What a record to attack. We got a $37 trillion deficit in this country, okay? Y'all had nothing to do with that. I didn't, but you did. You talking about policies involving the border. I didn't have anything to do with that. You did. You're talking about our economy and inflation ravaging us at that particular moment in time when Biden was in office. I didn't have anything to do with that. You did. The streets and crime going on in the streets and people getting off and times not, law enforcement being compromised where you got police officers retiring. I didn't do that. You did that. When you talk about tens of millions of people that are either off healthcare, off Medicaid or Medicare, right? And you're talking about those things because, again, Obamacare was essentially a tax. We keep forgetting that the Supreme Court ruled on that, and that was a tax, right? So you had that going on. And now that you're talking about veering away from that, which Trump obviously intends to do or whatever, when we look at the big, beautiful deal and all of this other stuff coming down, you're talking about tens of millions of people that are going to end up off of healthcare. I didn't do that. Y'all did that. So you have a record to attack. I don't. So I look at them and I say, you really want some? Come get some. I'm not trying to run for office or anything like that, but I'm very confident that if I were to elect to, I would be formidable enough where I could get on that debate stage. And once that happened, I can only say this to you. I can't imagine any moment in my life that I would have been more prepared for than I would for the debate stage for a presidential election. You might not see me for a couple of months. I would hunker down and I would master every issue imaginable, and I would be more ready than I have ever been in my life just for that moment. That would be the Super Bowl for me. That would be a Game 7 of an NBA Finals or a World Series. That would be everything. And I believe that if the American people saw me and I was going up against those folks, what are you going to say to defend your actions? And as media members, you got to be careful how you come. Because if you're CNN or MSNBC and you have a preferred candidate, who would notice it quicker than me? If you're on the right, same principle, who would notice it? These are the kind of things, because I know the industry. I know the executives in the industry. I know what they're thinking and how they're thinking. I know what maneuvers they'll practice. I kind of know this. So I'm like, I'm not into it like that because I'm living a pretty good life. But they keep getting on my damn nerves. Who knows what I might do?
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. And, you know, on stage, I think you'll shine. On eyeballs and already a status of followership, you're ahead of everybody on that side. All of those things are fine. But there's an element of values and principles that right now America is going more and more and more away from trusting the Democratic Party.
Right.
More and more away.
That's
trusting anybody on the Democratic Party. I don't, you know, for example, think about it this way. Mm-hmm. You know, you're famous for saying what? Weed, you know, when you do that thing. Like, you are not for players smoking weed. How long have you been saying that?
I'm not for players losing their money smoking weed. One of my best friends is Snoop Dogg. Nobody smokes more weed than him. Nobody.
Yeah.
Okay? I've never once asked him to stop smoking weed. No.
Okay. So if right now we all start smoking weed right now, would you stay in this room? We all start smoking weed right now.
That's a tough question because, first of all,
we'd be laughing a lot harder.
I don't mind a contact high every now and then. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. I wouldn't join you, but I wouldn't mind. And listen, we got a show to do. I got an obligation. I'm going to do it. Now, if it got too strong for me, I might step up and leave, but I might try to do it.
Let me ask you a question.
As long as I ain't doing it.
How many days in a row could you do that? How many days in a row could you go with being around us with smoking weed? How many days? Let's just say your job every day.
No, I wouldn't do that.
How many days would you do it?
5? Maybe?
5 days.
Maybe.
Eventually you're going to be like, I don't know if I want this job. Okay.
Right.
So check this out. This is kind of where I'm going with this. You ever gone on vacation with a group of people and say 2 of them you've gone on vacation before. The other 2 you never have.
Right.
And the first day like, hey, what's up, John? Hey, Mary. You know, hey, what's up, Jack? Hey, what's up? You know, it's your buddy. And then first day, it's kind of weird. Second day,
I get where you're going.
But let me tell you where I'm going with this. All of us seem like, dude, I can't be around these guys for too long. We simply don't share common values. So, would you consider yourself a manipulator?
No.
Would you consider yourself a persuader?
Yes.
How long can you be around manipulators and realize I am not willing to manipulate to get what I want and you guys are?
That is a very fair question. Here's my answer. Not long. But my point is, I'd eviscerate them. I want you out. See, you can't say that that's impossible when we've seen Trump pull off what was once deemed impossible.
Sure, yeah.
We know his past, his proclivities, and the kind of stuff that would normally not get somebody elected.
Right.
A Gary Hart, you know, didn't get elected. A John Edwards, for whatever reason, didn't get elected. Bill Clinton was in office but had to go through being impeached and all of this other stuff because of the blue dress and the stains and all of this. I mean, come on now. I mean, we've seen it, and we never dreamed in our wildest dreams that somebody like Trump could ever get into the White House. That's why you have so many. There's, I think it was, is it Anna Navarro that works for CNN, The View and CNN? What I remember most about her was her breaking out in extreme laughter at the thought that Trump could be president. Like, to me, you will never that will never erase from the minds of somebody who saw that because you were a political pundit. So the mentality is, we may not know better, but you were supposed to. You were supposed to at least know enough to know that he could be a threat. And she missed that. That could happen to me. That could happen to anybody. But it did happen to her. And so I think that there are people that hold that against her. Not me, but I think there are people that hold it against her. I'm just simply saying, when you have a party that is acting the way that you say, that you've highlighted, that is the way that you've highlighted, it's not working for them.
One big difference.
You would be absolutely right if the polls gave an indication that it's something close. They're plummeting before our eyes.
Yeah.
The nation is telling you that what we've seen, that they're siding more with Vinny. They're saying that. And so if that's the state of the Democratic Party, I think they're in a world of trouble. And who knows who could break through for them.
For those of you that believe the future looks bright and you go to the gym and you want to sport the gear and be part of the community that represents Future Looks Bright, here's a new gear that came out, athletic wear of Future Looks Bright, with our models. And guess who's in it? Vinny, Rob, going to play the clip.
Steven don't give a shit about what I'm doing.
Those
Okay,
are
Vinny.
85-pound dumbbells.
Okay, Nati. A good camera work right
The
there.
second one right there is what your kids should have kept the video.
It's Natalia. Oh, well. Great personality on that girl. There she goes. Sick. Gangster.
Looks good.
Yeah, we remember her.
Yeah.
We remember her.
All right, go to VTMerch.com.
Nah.
Place the order. First 100.
Brother
You're
could
going to
be
get an I Love
struggling from
VT.
amnesia and remember that. It's just the truth. It's just the truth.
I'm just talking
Again,
the truth.
VTMerch.com.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.